massive National Youth Day to you, South Africa and the world. My name is Presley Chweneyagae. Some call me Tsotsi. Boss Skri, Bampitsa Kobrizi Wali Easy, Mr. Forever Morsive. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Freedom Park. Massive.
South Africa, mother to us all.
Our differences make us who we are. Land of freedom, a rainbow nation is born.
Fight to love and daruna, lehumile, Maria Vona Tuluhile. Uribone, ahiso.
Uribone, obele.
Africa. I hope to live for eternity. I hope to see realize South Africa. One love, one hope. South Africa.
One heart, one soul. South Africa. Izele tusibambane sibe munye. South Africa. Yalipunga wena sombicho. Siyabulela tata.
Teaching us not to forget, not to forgive.
Uitondise kuribalelana narikanzo.
Ons oor is nou oor. Ons kan duidelijke, helder toekomst voor allemaal zien. Iniselani maapri, masibangwaneni, sibe munye.
I hope to live on. I hope to see realize South Africa.
One love, one home,
South Africa.
one heart, one soul.
South Africa. Izole tusibambane sibe munye. Akisobo nilifati le twanang li Africa bura. Li rato li temoruna. Li rato kahari.
Sichiga soka mzansi Afrika, sinenkululeko. It's a new South Africa, united, a strong nation.
All the people have spoken. South Africa belongs to all the people who live in it. Black and white. Oh, the people have spoken. No government can justly claim authority without the people's will. Yeah.
The people have spoken. The people shall govern. All national groups shall have equal rights.
The people have spoken. All equal before the law. All shall enjoy the equal human rights. Right?
Because we live for.
It's definitely an ideal I hope to see realized. Yeah.
One love, one home.
One heart, one soul.
One heart, one soul.
Tusibambane sibe munye.
Stand up. 20 years.
Siwambaneni.
Freedom Park embodies the aspirations of a nation that recognizes the centrality of the past, informing the present to signpost the future. A future that envisages a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic society. The Freedom Park complements the existing South African heritage landscape. It seeks to maximize coherence and minimize the duplication of relations with other heritage sites. That is why we open the opportunity to take the Freedom Park to the people, to the masses, to the communities, and the world at large.
My fellow compatriots and the global community, good morning, and greetings from Freedom Park, which is an entity of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa. The events that led to Youth Revolution 44 years ago are part of the core mandate of Freedom Park in terms of our narrative, and I'm therefore happy today to address you from Freedom Park on the 16th of June 2020. Today marks a day when in 1976, when the South African Students' Movement Action Committee, supported by the Black Conscious Movement, mobilized students against the government's policy that insisted on introducing Afrikaans as a medium of instruction, particularly in black schools in South Africa. Many young people were killed. These are young people who were marching peacefully, young people who were unarmed but were met by the heavy brutality of armed police in South Africa at the time. With no franchise and no human rights, these young people fought for equal access to quality education, and their heroic actions ultimately saw the downfall of the apartheid regime in South Africa. In addition to the youth who participated in the 1976 Uprising, Freedom Park honors all young people and youth who participated in different forms of resistance, particularly the ANC Youth League of the time, and activists like Solomon Mahlangu and many more others, particularly also when we look at the era of 1980s and also the 1990s. Freedom Park is a place where all our people from all colors, cultures, ages, and beliefs come to pay their quiet tribute to those whose memories will never be extinguished, those who will live on in every generation that will come in South Africa. We should remember that we are what we are because of these ultimate sacrifices and because of these heroes and heroines of our people who made it possible for all of us to enjoy this democracy. Mandela once said that young people are capable, when aroused, of bringing down the towers of oppression and raising the banners of freedom. And Freedom Park is today humbled to be a location in which future leaders become actively involved, engaged in a discourse aimed at improving the socio-economic of the continent of Africa. The South African government, through its 2030 National Development Plan, calls upon all citizens to devise mechanisms aimed at reducing inequality, as well as to, amongst others, grow an inclusive economy and the promotion of leadership and partnerships throughout society. The NDP is in alignment to the African Union's 2063 agenda, whose expectation is to transform the socio-economy of the continent in the next 50 years. As we ponder and commemorate the values and commitment of young gallants of 1976, we need to realize that today's youth have new challenges and are therefore fighting a different struggle. They deserve to be heard and understood so that their needs and concerns can be addressed. Our young people are facing a multi-layered struggle for a better quality of life in a complex democracy that still has the remnants of past injustices such as poverty, unequal educational opportunities, high youth unemployment, inadequate housing, and limited access to basic human needs. This, if not addressed, could be a vicious cycle as during the apartheid era. This year, the struggle for better life takes place in an environment where the whole country is in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic, which has, to some extent, curtailed some of their fundamental rights for the first time since the achievement of democracy in 1994. In addition to the challenges they usually have to deal with, they must now deal with the realities that have been brought about by the global pandemic that is claiming the lives of many, ravaging our already weak economy and putting many young people out of jobs and disrupting their educational opportunities. As suggested by the theme for this year's Youth Month, Youth Power, Growing South Africa Together in the period of COVID-19, the greatest challenge confronting our youth today is how to grow South Africa in the midst of COVID-19 economic crisis. This is also happening when our country has been downgraded. How do our youth continue with education despite the projected spike of the pandemic? What challenges prevent the youth from reaching their potential, and how can they be addressed? What is it that our youth are prepared to do to bring hope for a better life for future generations? Before the lockdown, youth unemployment rate in South Africa for the last quarter of 2019 was at 58.1% according to Stats SA. Youth job losses triggered by COVID-19 lockdown has added to the crisis, and this is projected to continue even as government eases lockdown regulations and workers return to their jobs. This rate exhibits a crisis in South Africa compared to the global village. Despite this crisis, it is essential that good quality education and skills development for new jobs must meet the new economy so as to liberate young people's personal circumstances. The starting point in job creation should be to address the mismatch between education currently offered in our education and training institutions and the skills needed to meet the demands post-COVID-19 economy. And this will allow young people to enter the labor market, but also to contribute to the new challenges that our country faces. At the center of curriculums offered, there must be further training in digital technology as a critical tool to empower youth to meet the challenges and the demands of the fourth industrial revolution. In addition, entry-level jobs for the youth who have just qualified must be created so as to ensure that none of them are excluded from participating in the workforce due to lack of experience or socio-economic constraints. In the absence of opportunities for skills development and training, knowledge pools must be created for youth to share what they know and to learn from each other so as to avoid past mistakes. An advantage for today's born phrase is global proliferation of social media as a powerful platform for hearing the voice of the youth, where discussions on new challenges facing the youth are able to speak out across different cultures and different languages. It is through the power of these platforms that we learn about inequalities that have been exposed by the COVID-19 crisis. As much as the role played by the youth of 1976 should not be forgotten, the current youth have a mandate to fulfill and a huge responsibility that lies before them to ensure a better life for themselves and also for their future generations. That is why here at Freedom Park we also have programs and projects that deals with the youth, starting with our program on Youth in Dialogue with the Elders, whereby young people come to Freedom Park, engage the elders to learn about our past, our history, our heritage, and our culture, so that they can draw from that inspiration to move forward the country that is united in its diversity. Some of the programs that we have here at Freedom Park includes the tour guide opportunities, where we encourage young people to learn about their history, to become tour guides so that they can promote and educate the nation about who they are and where they come from. Our educational programs also focus more on the youth. We have programs where we focus on youth in basic educations, youth in tertiary institutions, and also youth out of school, so that young people can come together at Freedom Park, discuss about the current challenges, and determine a future for themselves and for their country. We therefore want to invite young people to come, as the COVID-19 pandemic challenges heritage institutions in particular. We want to call upon young people to give us ideas. How do we use digital platforms to still educate the nation around heritage, culture, and also to ensure that our heritage sites are not left behind? This pandemic also provides opportunities, and we believe that young people, if they put their minds together, they can assist government, they can assist entities, they can also come up with industries that will come up with solutions to address how we must deal and go forward with our new challenges in terms of the pandemic. What new industries do we need as a country now that we have to live with the COVID-19 pandemics? And we believe that our young, brilliant minds of young people can be challenged and can come up with solutions to take South Africa and our continent forward. I hope that after the pandemic, you will come and engage us at Freedom Park, and currently you can engage us on our websites and also our social media platforms. I thank you.
In taking Freedom Park to the people and fulfilling its mandate, we want to explore and celebrate the nation's capacity for reconciliation, the desire for nation building, whilst we recognize the diversity of different cultures. June 16, 1976 is remembered as a day that changed the shape of South African history. It is a day that is commemorated and remembered for changing the lives of the youth in South Africa, disenfranchised African youth. We celebrate you.
Remember your home address, for your ancestors still live there to comfort you. And when you are feeling weary, they will hold your spirit. They will let you know that men, like truth, do not disappear, and women of courage do not abandon time. Do not forget your home address. If you go away, you must remember it, for when they ask you where you come from, you must come back. You must search for it, and you must find it. History is the home address. It resides in you. It is your sanctuary, and you its sanctuary. If you do not know it, if you forget it, if you throw it away, it is as if you are entering a desert where there is only sand, sand, and sand. If you go away, you must remember your home address, for that is where your being resides. Here on earth is full of trials and tribulation. Earth is a place where mosquito bites can kill. If history, like the seasons, comes back and your ancestors ask you for the address, you must take it. You must say it to them, and you must know it. If the global village emerges, son of Africa, walk. Do not leave your footprints on the sand of the ocean. The water will wash it away. Do not fly against the current. Your wings will break. Mile away! I say as my great-grandmother would say. I remember when she went to sleep and she slept forever. Does that mean she dreams forever? Or that now and then she receives nightmares of genocide and people attacking her for her dreams? I am her dream. She dreams hoping that my life will be different from hers. All of us, when we become ancestors, we wish that they do not live a life like us. That is why we give them the home address, and we hope they do not forget it, for if they do forget it, lest they forget themselves. You may not live there, but you must not forget your home address. June 16, honoring our heroes and heroines of the Soweto Uprising. Amandla!
Warm greetings all. I take this moment with humility and immense gratitude in the day in which we pay tribute to our gallant freedom fighters. As I speak right now, my mind is filled with heroic acts of our young heroes and heroines who fought without capitulation for the liberation of our beloved country. Today we recall the selflessness and unwavering bravery of utterances from comrades like late Solomon Mahlangu, who said, "My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. Tell my people that I love them. They must continue the fight." June 16 therefore reminds us of the turning point in the liberation movement and the struggle for a democratic South Africa. I take this opportunity and re-emphasize that by honoring those who sacrificed their lives for our struggle, Freedom Park inadvertently commits itself to humanity and selfless commitment to the cause of humankind. By organizing and hosting this event is an indication that Freedom Park regards itself and its role as one that is drawn from the lessons it continues to learn from the heroes and heroines who contributed to our freedom. In unfortunate situations like these, in which the country is still grappling with COVID-19, we at Freedom Park should take the lead in ensuring that the democratic principles that were ingrained in our country by our forebears remain relevant and resilient within our society. Engaging in an event of this nature during this calamitous period of humankind is a precise indication that Freedom Park remains a relevant entity in South Africa's political destiny. I therefore take this opportunity to thank the youth of 1976, the leadership of our country for acknowledgement of this historic day, the young people of our country, Freedom Park Council, the staff, the CEO, and all participants in the program, in particular the organizers of this august event. I thank you.